Michael Murphy, David Clifford. The individual performances were absolutely outstanding. Not just good, not just brilliant, outstanding. And I think that's what. And again, it's neither of them games were one-man shows, but it was the quality of footballer that we have coming through. Whether it's not just the young guys in Kerry. It's football is in a healthy state.
David, that's
for
not
24 hours. Joe, let me finish. For 24 hours.
Yeah, exactly. You can't be talking about this like football. Tell me how terrible it was. Come on.
There was nothing negative at all.
Given the performances of the likes of Rory Beggan and Conor McManus yesterday, you almost forget how brilliant a game Kildare and Galway was before. That was a phenomenal game of football.
It was I said it was the best 25 minutes that I've seen in a long time. It had everything.
Which 25?
The first 25. Right. From skill, pace, power, long range scores, left, right. It was captivating. Yeah. And you know what? And it's football. Football comes in swings and roundabouts.
Yeah.
And again, we didn't see what we've seen, and the people are starting to adapt. Players are starting to adapt. Managers, teams into that. Whoever scores the most wins games, rather than what we've seen in the past. Whoever defends the best.
I think it was always going to go that way. That was always the natural progression, to be honest.
I have to say, you know what? Even defending has become an actual art. There was circumstances like Johnny Cooper. It was Paul Mannion had one interception down on his own 15-yard line, and it was just textbook, and there was no physicality of it. There was no negatives.
Yeah, okay. It was more handball than football yesterday. Kerry match was terrible, tell Brady, with the exception of the last 5 minutes.
I didn't think it was terrible. I thought it was from a Monaghan perspective, I thought it was outstanding.
Yeah. Well, why didn't they win then?
They didn't lose, and I think that's the most important thing.
They should have won by. I mean,
they should have been 8 points up.
When's the last
8
time?
or 9 points up at half time.
When's the last time Conor McManus was left in 1v1 territory? So he couldn't believe it the first few minutes. Scores 1-1. Mark Griffin's looking around going, oh my God.
Probably the last time Conor McManus was on his own was someone was sitting at his kitchen table with his mother feeding him, because he got so much space. But you have to gamble. From a Kerry context, you have to gamble.
Yeah.
Do we go and do something that we're not used to, we're not good at, and we haven't done in the past, play a sweeper?
Yeah.
Have you got the young fellas on the half forward line to say, right, now you're only a gosser, go back there and play a sweeper role like you've been playing football for the last 10 years. But Eamon Fitzmaurice gambled, and one man had 104 seconds left in his career yesterday.
Donaghy.
I'm telling you now. It wasn't just getting a hand to a ball.
No.
It was getting himself into position, getting himself up, and he knew where Clifford was coming.
He was so composed. You watch it back again in the replay, and there's 2 or 3 around him. He is the one with his eyes most on the ball. Everyone else is vaguely aware where the ball is, and they know it's coming in, but they're kind of half watching him. He is just eyes on the ball and nothing else.
He knew he had to, and he didn't even get a hand. He had to. His hand went laterally, and he had to push it out to the side to Clifford.
Did you see the photo from behind the goal of the Clifford finish today? Have you seen that on Twitter?
Yeah.
There's no room.
There's no room.
Yeah.
And you're going, look at it was an unbelievable finish, and it was like what we've seen from Rory Beggan. I seen the good and the bad.
Yeah.
But I seen the unbelievable in some of his, like that kick out.
77 metres.
77 metres.
Mbappe ran against Argentina for 77 metres. Rory Beggan just booted at 77 metres. How far could you boot the ball?
Honestly.
Yeah. Off a kicking tee now.
Off a kicking tee? Oh, jeez, no.
Got to protect against Gilmore Grind, though.
In my youth, I'd have kicked, but no, it was all hand pass in my latter years.
What would you'd make halfway line, would you, from place ball off the ground, hot day like yesterday? You'd boot it halfway.
The bull toe. Did you ever hear that? Just top of the toe.
Bog toe as well. Like
bog toe, bull toe.
Bull toe.
And as hard, Richie, you know yourself.
Bull toe, man.
As eyes closed and as hard as you can go. Yeah.
Not so hot in control, but it moves.
It moves. But there's so much to talk about.
Joe Malloy says David Clifford shows everybody he's the real deal. Conor McManus says hold my beer from Rob and Monaghan. Yeah, I mean, look, McManus he's just a touch of class, isn't he?
Unbelievable.
Yeah, really amazing.
Michael Murphy as well.
Well, somebody says, can we all just appreciate how amazing Michael Murphy has been playing senior football for Donegal for just the 11 years now and produces a performance time after time after time. And will he now play in front of the goal is the question mark.
Interesting. You know what? It's a new manager creates new life in players often, and that's what Declan Bonner seems to have done. And putting them where you're most dangerous beside goal.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
And do they have enough in midfield? So Tyrone come to Ballybuffet in round 3. Do they have enough in midfield even just to break even with Tyrone and get the ball into Murphy? Because I saw John Divley today in the Irish Examiner. He's not so sure that Donegal are well equipped enough to sacrifice Murphy at the field, even though he concedes. Look, what Murphy can do in close to goal is amazing.
I think, you know what, they have enough of guys as well able to, they're athletic enough, they're not out and out midfielders, but give me a full forward line with Odin McNeilish and Murphy in it. If you don't get, if it's 55-45, well then you're in
Good enough
danger.
return.
Yeah.
Your positivity is clearly bugging people. I've got 3 text messages for you.
If they're negative.
Here we go. The Clifford goal was a lucky pot shot. 9 out of 10 times that goes nowhere. That's text 1.
What's his name?
Didn't put his name to it.
I'll go after these people, Dave. That's not what happens here.
Keen from Athlone. Gaelic football's not in a healthy place. We got a good half in Kildare Galway and a great game in Armagh Roscommon, and that's it for 2018 so far. And then Phil texted in said there's going to have to be a limit in the number of consecutive hand passes that a team can make before kicking becomes redundant and football becomes unwatchable. The game is miles behind hurling when it comes to entertainment. Something needs to be done, otherwise the neutral will switch off in droves. So none of them are happy with you.
Okay. I have feelings too.
Yeah, listen. So
it's not a personal attack.
It's not a personal attack. It's
but
just your
I just
opinion.
can't see why they can't. It was a phenomenal, and we've needed it. God, we've needed it from a GAA context. But if anyone sees it negative, like you can't be scoring every 2 or 3 minutes. But
we actually need a repeat next week or in a couple weeks' time.
Again, it's down to the wire. It's down to the wire.
The news round then, as we get into it, is brought to you this evening with Screwfix.ie, championing the trade with a choice of over 20,000 quality trade products. And Richie, you're starting with the story which really has dominated for the last week or so now.
Yeah, and hopes remain that the Liam Miller tribute game could be played at Páirc Chaoimh. Still, the chairman of the benefit, Michael O'Flynn, has confirmed he's to meet with GA Director General Tom Ryan and GA President John Horan tomorrow. A charity clash of an Ireland and Celtic 11 will face a team of Manchester United legends on September 25th. Last week, tickets for the game at Turner's Cross sold out in minutes as the GAA cited legal advice for keeping the gates of Páirc Chaoimh closed to the event.
I don't even need to ask what you make of all this.
Put it into perspective. We're not asking from a context. We're not asking people to do something that's beyond what we can, and the GAA can, and I think it's why didn't they talk last week? Why didn't they think and talk? And
how did they not foresee how this would look and how this would go down? Even from a cynical PR point of view on their part.
It's hard to envisage. Leaders are supposed not to do the right thing, but to do what's right, and that's the decision now that I think. It's not about doing, it's to do what's right. And I think that Tom Ryan and John Horan are, but if nothing else, they're definitely listening. Because we've seen what happened within the Newbridge scenario. And hopefully, it's about doing what's right.
Because it is so clearly a charity event.
It's a charity event,
precisely what
and
it is.
It's if it was rugby or any other sport, I think it's enough.
Nobody's asking to put Cork City versus Celtic in the Champions League qualifiers in there yet.
No.
Anyway, it's a kickabout between lads over 40.
Yeah, and it's for a great cause. And
well, there's a widow and children here, and I'm sure they're horrified at all the fuss and the media attention. And like Liam Miller was an incredibly private person. A few people made that point yesterday, and to have all this going on is just what nobody wants.
Yeah, no, and you know what? Hopefully, in time, maybe that whether it's the Aviva or another stadium, it's a rugby stadium in Thomond, that it can be reciprocated for. Again, it's a good cause. It's not about sport is sport. It's not about the rules or the way the game is played, whether it's soccer, rugby, or GAA or any other sport. It's about doing what's right.
Yeah, ironically, Liam Miller won quite a few of his Ireland caps. I think 4 or 5 of them at Páirc for Ireland. You know,
that's right.
The other irony of the whole thing, and obviously played GA growing up. But even if he hadn't, even if none of that was the case, it's just like the basic decency of the thing here.
And again, it's positive. It meant to, no matter if they're 40 or over 50, it's good. It's good publicity for Páirc Chaoimh, for Cork.
Well, that place looks nice. Who plays there usually? All the Cork footballers and hers. Oh, great! I'll go there to one of the games.
Yeah. Well, you're bringing in potentially. I mean, even again, it's not the point of doing it, but you're probably bringing in people who want to see Ryan Giggs and Keane and Scholes is coming. I think Ferdinand is as well.
Kevin Kilban.
Come on now, Joseph.
Sorry,
Kevin
he's
Kilban,
obviously the headline act.
Star attraction.
We mightn't go to Páirc Chaoimh otherwise and look around and go, geez, this place is all right. Let's come and take in a few games next summer. So we'll see how that one goes. I mean, it's hard to imagine this thing happening at Turner's Cross. That would be fairly shameful day if that does happen.
The momentum is there now. Hopefully it'll
come
to a resolution.
Rich, you have a reaction from some of the managers from the Super 8s?
Yeah, Malachy O'Rourke insists he's not concerned by his side throwing away a lead to Kerry yesterday afternoon. David Clifford's goal, 4 minutes into added time, rescued the draw for the Kingdom when they had trailed by 4 points with 2 minutes of normal time remaining. It means Monaghan must go to Ballybuffet needing to avoid defeat, but it's something O'Rourke says they can do without fatally bruised egos.
Well, I'm not sure about it being a worry. It's a disappointment because I suppose in many ways we had the game won. We had got ourselves in that position. That's the positives I'm taking out of the game. We put in a great shift. You know, just because Kerry came back, fair play to them for coming back, it doesn't take away all the positives out of the game for us. We'll have to learn from it as best we can. But look, it's about taking the positives out of it, learning our lessons, but getting back and making sure that, you know, the next day that we're better prepared again. And look, it's going to be another massive battle for us, but hopefully we'll be ready.
So let's make a dangerous assumption, which is that Kerry get the job done against Kildare and put up a half-decent score in Killarney, and maybe Kildare lose 2 or 3% because they don't have anything beyond pride to play for, and Monaghan have to go to Galway. So this has actually suddenly become very tricky for them in comparison with 10 minutes to go when they were 5 points clear. How will they do against Galway?
I don't, and again, the experience of this team probably didn't show in the last 10 minutes, but I think they have enough experience to approach it in a manner to say, right, and it's good that there's a 2-week break. The hangover from the disappointment, it wasn't, they didn't lose the game, but the hangover will have abated, and what they'll need is to start not where they left off, but in the shape and form and manner in which they played yesterday. I think it's very important from that context. And again, it's a massive opportunity. Look, I think at one stage we were all in the zone of a Monaghan person wishing the last 2 minutes away, because it was a massive achievement for a county that have done phenomenally well, and it was just it's unfortunate, but their chance is there and their opportunity is there. It's a draw, and they're going for a replay, but unfortunately it's away from home, and that's tough, and that's the advantage that Galway will have to a degree.
Meanwhile, Richie, we have the beginnings of a saga here.
We do indeed. Sky have denied that they were behind the narrowing of the Healy Park pitch for Tyrone's Super 8 defeat to Dublin on Saturday. Speaking after the loss, Tyrone manager Mickey Hart said he wasn't behind the altered dimensions, but as he told our Steve O'Doyle, they were apparently reacting to a request from the match broadcaster.
I heard you say to the written press there was no conspiracy theory regarding the pitch and making the pitch smaller.
Absolutely not. No, that was a request that came in from Sky to the Oma club here, and they asked me would I be happy if the pitch was narrowed a bit for their purposes, and I said fine, work away.
That's what Mickey Hart said, but Sky today said they did not, nor would they, make such a request to have the pitch narrowed. Tyrone lost the game 114 to 14 points, meaning they need to avoid defeat away to Donegal to progress to the All-Ireland semi-finals.
I mean, it's just too ridiculous. Like, we don't know. Is the short of it, but it's just ridiculous.
We know enough that they weren't parking their trucks at the side of the pitch and saying, "Sorry, there now, Mickey, we've to open the crew cab here."
To be fair, I can't think of Sky having other pitches narrowed.
Narrowed.
Why would you need? As I said to you yesterday,
for Senan Connell to do his thing.
Now, Senan's ego needs a bit of room, but not that much room. Fair play to Mickey. He'd if we asked him again, he'd say with a straight face.
Oh dear,
it's a classic now. In all fairness,
blame Sky Sports. You can't go wrong. That's the rule.
Sure. The whole world is blaming them for what's gone wrong. So just throw them.
Under the bus as well. Eamon says, brilliant weekend of football. I'd say those who think it was rubbish had that decided before 5 o'clock on Saturday. And spare thought here for Davy Conway. Lads, I have the son at minor football training in Kilkenny for 2019. Super 8s we can only dream of. He says he's a tip man living in Kilkenny trying to spread the football gospel. Lads, Rory Beggan's kicking display was unreal, totally agree, but shouldn't he have saved Clifford's shot, which is the real job of a keeper, says Cahill in Galway. And somebody else, James and Meath. Lads agreed, Beggan's bag of tricks, whereas David says phenomenal. However, he's there to stop them, and he was absent for the Clifford finish. Pick in the Independent speaks 1,000 words.
I wouldn't blame Beggan necessarily for that. It was Shane Carey's point when I think they were 4 points up when he tries this fancy slice when the regular shot on goal would have been much, much easier. Slices it wide, and from that point on, it was pretty much all Carey, and they came back into the game and got the draw. Yeah. It's stuff like that. It's the wastefulness in front of goal would bug me more than saving or not saving a shot at close range that late on. From
the tip down to the boot to the ball, millisecond.
Yeah.
Milliseconds. You can't look at me, go down, you know, your number one job is to keep your near post protected. And
there is an element there where, from Clifford's point of view, he doesn't have much time to get the shot off because he's at such a tight angle and the end line is fast approaching. All he's trying to do there is aim it generally towards the back stick, and even, you know, he would think himself 8 times out of 10 this is going to catch somebody's elbow or knee or body, and somehow it just snuck through. Like, you know, it can just happen.
There was nowhere else in the possible for that ball to go. Just to the route it went,
and he wasn't aiming for that spot. It just happened.
Well, he hit no, because it was not. The angle was so narrow that it had to be straight away. It was never a chance, because if we tried to turn back, the numbers were there. And
any goalkeepers listening, give us a text. I don't know. I think we can sort of absolve Beggan of that one. I don't know if you'd put it down as a big mistake. Meanwhile, Cork and Dundalk, Rich?
Yeah, a couple of European heavyweights could be visiting these shores in the third qualifying round of the Europa League. Should Dundalk see off AEK Larnaca in round 2, they'll face either Ajax or Sturm Graz, and after dropping into the third qualifying round with a bye, Cork City will face the losers of the Celtic Rosenborg Champions League qualifier. Cork, meanwhile, can close the gap on Dundalk to just a single point in the SSE Airtricity Premier Division this evening. John Caulfield's side welcome Derry City to Turner's Cross, where there's a 7:45 start, and the Leesiders' boss insists there'll be no hangover from their Champions League exit to Legia Warsaw.
No, not at all. Absolutely, training's been excellent. We've been in since obviously we came home late Tuesday night / Wednesday morning, and we've been in since Thursday every day, and all our working has been geared on Derry, because obviously we know they're a very dangerous team, can cause a lot of problems. They brought a number of new players into their squad, so they've refreshed themselves with 5 new signings. So and we could see the other night, they had a fantastic 2-1 away win in Europe. So from that point of view, they obviously are better than they had been.
Kick-off, as I say, at 7:45. And meanwhile, the German Football Federation have rejected accusations of racism levelled at them by Mesut Ozil. The Arsenal playmaker announced his international retirement yesterday, citing racism and disrespect relating to his Turkish roots. Ozil claims he's treated like a German when they win, but an immigrant when they lose. The playmaker posed for pictures with Turkish President Erdogan in the lead-up to the World Cup, calling him "my president." And in a statement, the DFB said Ozil did not adequately explain away the photos, as Ilkay Gundogan had done. They do reaffirm their commitment to integration at all levels of German football, and they admit they could have done more to shield Ozil from the racist abuse that surrounded Germany's poor World Cup campaign.
His written statement last night was very powerful, Ozil. So we'll talk about this later on in the show. We'll be over to Germany and see what the reaction has been. Meanwhile, Tiger Woods.
He's back inside the world's top 50 golfers for the first time in 3 years. His finish of joint 6th at the Open has seen Woods rise 21 places, up 250 in the world rankings. It also secures his entry to next month's WGC Bridgestone Invitational in Ohio. The newly crowned Open champion Francesco Molinari, along with his claret jug, is now up to 6th in the world. Rory McIlroy is up 1 place to 7th, following his 2nd place finish at Carnoustie.
Did any of this grab you over the weekend, David? Did you watch the golf at all?
Yeah, I was enthralled in it. Switching over between
football and
it was just heaven. And the child was asleep.
Listen, win.
Better again, it was like, with Tiger getting to the top. And then Rory and...
Yes, it was amazing stuff. I mean, Tiger played the first 10 holes incredibly well. Yeah. And he was leading after 10, and you thought, this is on. It's happening. I mean, people rightly have been scoffing for the last few years when we've been saying, is Tiger back endlessly. But he was back yesterday, and then his double bogey on 11 would just break your heart every time you watch it. So he misses the green. He should just chip it back on and have his par putt. And instead he gets too clever with the chip, rolls back off the green, and then his put back on is too strong and misses the one coming back, and suddenly it's a double bogey on a completely innocuous hole, and then he bogeys the next hole. It's like he's a bit rattled by the whole thing. And the air went out of Tiger's challenge then. So we're going to talk to Jay Townsend, former European Tour player, in the next 10 minutes or so and see what he made of it. But up until that point, I mean, it was really on for Tiger. It was just... it was thrilling. It was as good an Open Sunday as there's been in some time.
As Butch Harmon says, that everyone's focus was on McIlroy and Woods, and Molinari was just in the background. You know, the gallery was following Woods and Rory, and all of us. He just kept on doing what he needed.
14 before he birdied yesterday, Molinari. Something like that.
He didn't. It was pars all the way, and then he had his birdie in the par 5 14th. His last bogey had been on the Friday.
Yeah.
So he just played bogey-free golf over the weekend. It was like almost, it was boring, you know, frankly. It was a bit, his golf was just a bit boring. And he was just, I mean, fairways and greens. Basically his story is he couldn't putt for a long time, and now he's very good at putting. And if you hit every fairway and hit every green and you're good at putting,
you're all right.
You're probably going to do okay, yeah.
You'll do well in life.
Yeah. Someone texted in, after that Clifford goal, lads, it's safe to say that football's coming home, is texting. Next story or two.
St Patrick's Athletics say they're very disappointed that their plans to regenerate St Michael's estate around their ground have been rejected. Housing Minister Owen Murphy today announced plans for Ireland's first large-scale cost rental housing project. This plan would see the construction of 472 housing units on the St Michael's site in Inchicore. Pats had hoped to see their plans, which included 520 units spread across 2 sites, included a new 12,000-seat stadium approved by the authorities. Club President Tom O'Mahony says the approved plans fall way short of what's needed regarding the regeneration of the Inchicore area, and he was asked why he feels their plan was rejected.
They're ready to roll now with what they have, whereas if they want to change course and go with us, they've got to sit down and do a lot of negotiation and sorting out things, and that's a risk of delay, and they don't really want to do that when there is such a pressing housing need. And everybody can understand that. But our counter-argument to that, I suppose, would be the site has been vacant for a decade. And, you know, possibly taking a few months longer in order to get a much better solution might be worth doing.
Tom O'Mahony there, the president of St Pat's. Elsewhere today, Alexander Cox is the man to lead Ireland at the Men's Hockey World Cup later this year. He replaces Craig Fulton, who left in May to take up a role with Belgium. Cox is a former assistant coach with the Dutch men's and women's sides, helping the latter win Olympic gold at London 2012. Cox will begin in the role on August the 4th after Ireland defend their Four Nations Cup in Dusseldorf. That's against Argentina, Germany and France. Ireland head to India in November for a first World Cup finals appearance since 1990.
You were so what?
Easy on now, boys. Where's the women's hockey?
They won over the weekend, didn't
they? That's not part of the news round.
We mentioned it yesterday. And we got Graham Shaw's interview.
No, boys, that's not fair. That's not fair. No. I know we didn't run through this beforehand, but I was going, Alexander Cox is not the coach of the women's team. But actually, I only see there as the men's team.
We did, in Richie's defence, play a good interview.
And you have promoted, I seen
the coach yesterday.
I seen Cliona Foley off the benches or off the wall?
Off the bench.
Off the bench.
This is off the ball, Dave.
Off the I did see, it was a great, Kieran Shannon had a great article with Graham Shaw, the manager.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Great performance.
The short version is they beat the USA team,
3-1.
6th in the world.
Yeah, 3-1.
Which is
fantastic.
Better handling. They've got India to come on Thursday, which means if they win that, then they're through to the knockout phase, which is remarkable.
Yeah.
Considering they were last at the World Cup was 16 years ago, 2002, and lost all 7 games that time.
Yeah.
And the progress they've made, both men's and women's.
Shaw was saying that they're not shocked they beat them, but to beat them on this stage, when obviously USA would have been pretty focused and peaking for a World Cup.
Yeah, he was talking about the nervous manner of them. I was reading the match report as well the other day, saying that when Ireland's call was playing, they're almost not chatting amongst themselves during the anthem, but they were looking around and feeling okay and feeling very loose, and that manifested itself on the pitch.
Well, you've been called out by Brady. Don't do that again.
No, sorry, no. I
No.
You know your stuff.
Try.
Yeah.
A try.
Last story then.
12-time Olympic swimming medalist Ryan Lochte has been banned until July for breaking anti-doping rules. The American used an intravenous drip in May without getting permission. The investigation was prompted by him posting a photo online. It's his second suspension since the Rio 2016 Olympics. He was banned for 10 months after claiming he and 3 other swimmers were robbed at gunpoint in Rio, a story that was shown to be a total lie.
Well, I completely forgot about the line about being robbed at gunpoint thing. What was that again?
He was basically out and about and decided that, you know, in them breaking, I think they broke, I don't know if they broke a team curfew or whatever, but they're out and said that, oh lads, we were robbed at gunpoint at a petrol station, and it was complete nonsense.
Was it? Yeah.
Because it's Rio and everything, so you know. Ryan Lochte. He got his own reality TV show out of that, didn't he?
He did. He is not the sharpest knife in the drawer.
Yeah.
That's safe to say. He is,
competition time then. This week we've teamed up with Europcar. Whichever way you want to move, Europcar have a wide range of vehicles available, from hourly options to long-term rentals. 20 branches nationwide, including Clonmel, Limerick. Moving around has never been so easy, and Europcar are now giving you the chance to win a kicking session with their ambassador. That's the new Munster number 10, Joey Carberry. The prize includes 1 hour of training for your child and their friend. So, like, be cool about this, and you don't take the session with Joey Carberry. Let your kid and their friend be taught by Joey Carberry. And you'll be collected from your home by a Europcar driver in one of the deluxe vehicles from the Europcar fleet. To put your name in the hat, you can go over to offtheball.com/Europcar. That's EUROPCAR, and register your details there. Children entered must be aged between 7 and 14, and we'll be announcing winners each day. It's Europcar moving your way. So you're not entering for yourself, you're entering for your children. Remember that. David Brady, thanks so much for the time being. You're going to be back just after 8 o'clock. We'll review the weekend's action.
Yeah, really looking forward to it.
Dara O'Connell will join us as well. Up next, though, we're over to Carnoustie. We're talking to Jay Townsend about Francesco Molinari, and almost it could have been Tiger Woods.
Off the Ball on Newstalk.
Thanks to Screwfix.ie, championing the trade with a choice of over 20,000 quality trade products.
It's one of the great London derbies, and it's coming to Dublin. Arsenal versus Chelsea, Aviva Stadium, Wednesday, August 1st. See the stars of 2 of the Premier League's leading teams as they do battle in the International Champions Cup. Tickets on sale now from Ticketmaster.ie. Booking fee applies. Don't miss out. Get your tickets early. Arsenal v Chelsea, August 1st. Kick-off 8:05 p.m.
Put the brakes on searching for car insurance yourself. Visit chill.ie, get your quick quote, and you're away. Chill Insurance Limited, trading as Chill Insurance, is regulated by the Central Bank of Ireland.
Hi, I'm Brendan Cabnance.